Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Hope Show. And we're not in our normal format like we usually are with a screen that I'm going to talk to or present things to, or a guest that we're going to talk to about what they're doing. I just thought I would start off tonight with just some thoughts that I had after I was talking to some people that I know. And one of them is my wonderful granddaughter. She's going to be making a trip out of town. And she was hesitant about what's going on in the world where she's going. And she is the most precious thing in the world to me. And I'm going to talk to her more about that tomorrow. But um, I want to talk to you guys about what you're afraid of. And I'm here to tell you that 97% of the things that you're worried about are not going to happen. But it's human nature that we're infinitely worried about things. And then when they come to pass, we don't think, oh, that's wonderful. Let me dwell on it. Let me think about how that didn't happen. Let me think about, how I didn't get fired, or my, you know, wife didn't divorce me, or my kids weren't on drugs, or my business didn't fail, whatever it is. We're infinitely worried about the stock market is going to crash. And when it doesn't, then we don't think about that as much. And I'm a guy that's had a lot of crap happen to me. And I have gotten to the point in life where I really don't worry about it. I happen to trust in God, and I try to do the next right thing that I can do. But I want to have the best day that I can have every single day, because I almost lost everything, and I just had my kidney anniversary. And when your organs fail, and you come back, I don't really think that there's much is going to happen to me that I'm not going to be able to deal with. I'm going to be able to worry about. I'm gaining my health back, and I know for a fact that something bad is going to happen to me eventually. And I'm paying attention to the things that are good that are happening to me. And they are, all of them, people and relationships and memories. And there are a lot of people that I know of, and they tell me their personal stories. And I do some mentoring, for people. And no one cares. It always comes down to the point that either no one cares, or they are happy that you have the problems that you have. No one cares about your status. No one cares about how impressive you are. And we think that if we have the newest car, or we live in the best neighborhood, or we live in the biggest house, or we're a big deal, um, that people are going to care about that, and they're not. And if they do, They are absolutely and totally people that you don't want to have in your life. And I have got to tell you, I have friends that have over $300 million, and I have friends that just got out of prison, and I have every shade of gray in between that. And anybody that's a true friend is there for the experience of the bond. They're there for the friendship. And if they're not, that fades. Those people go away and they end up alone. And if I drive my piece of crap Cadillac that I have into a situation where there's a group of people that are driving much nicer cars than I am, they don't care. Uh, They, I don't care if they're driving up or down. I'm happy for them. I love it that they're driving the McLaren or the Ferrari, or they're driving some kind of a brand new whatever it is. The only thing that I don't want them to do is I don't want them to be driving something that they can't really afford to impress me, because I'm not impressed. You know, if you pay cash for your cars and you're not putting yourself out and you're truly driving the car that you're driving, um, because you like it, then God love you. But if you're paying to fit in, I want you to take a look at that. I really want you to take a good, hard look and realize that if your friendship is based on some impression that you made on someone, and if they knew exactly who you really were, that things might be different. That's why I hate a suit. I don't dress up for anybody. Well, I take that back. I don't dress up for anybody except for my kids and my wife, my close friends. If somebody's getting married or if somebody dies and I need to show respect for those situations, yeah, I do that. I will up my dress because of the love that I have for those people, but I'm not wearing a tie for anybody. If I go into a bank and I need something from a banker and I got to put on a tie, I don't need it. I absolutely don't need anything from anybody in this world that I've got to impress somebody. And if they don't like who I am, then, I don't have to be involved with them. And if you feel like you've got to do something special to get ahead, then I want you to think about that trap that puts you in. I mean, look at these corporate executives who are working their butts off and they're spending time away from their family, they're traveling out of town, they're making real life sacrifices. And then these corporations decide that they're going to cut 3 whole layers of management to adjust the bottom line at the end of the quarter for their shares of their stock. And they lay you off with a Zoom meeting or an email. And sorry, not sorry. Maybe you get 60 days. And you've given up these real things in your life, and no one cares. They don't remember. They don't They don't remember what you did. They don't, no one cares if you had the best wedding for your daughter of anybody. No one cares. And no one remembers. They remember their own daughter's wedding. And if you're doing something to impress other people, you know, it fails. If you're having a wedding for your daughter because you love her and you love your new son-in-law and you're doing the things for your family to enjoy, that's good. But if you have to keep up with the Joneses, I'm here to tell you, the Joneses, they don't care. They don't care about you. And you shouldn't care about them. And if you've got a fancy new motorcycle, that's wonderful. And your bros love that because they're out riding with you and they're hanging out and you're all together and you're enjoying that together. And that's when it's really valuable. Look, Spanky got a new motorcycle and we're going to go out and ride together and we're going to build lifelong relationships and love each other. And that's when it's important. And I've been the guy that has the brand new motorcycle and I've been the guy with the oldest motorcycle in the group. And I feel the same way. And honestly, I I dress like a homeless person at this point most of the time, and I don't really care that much what people think about me. But I think that when you get to a certain station in life, that happens, and real knows real. So if you think that you're impressing somebody that is above your station, real knows real. And if you want something from somebody, people know that. People could tell that. And they don't like it. If you are a person that wants to join that circle, provide value. Provide the answer to a puzzle and then team up with some people that have other skills and advantages and experience and then do a thing together. And then you're going to accidentally make a bunch of money and you're going to accidentally achieve some things. And, the fact that one person has 300 million in net worth and the other person has $250,000 in net worth, and you're working on something together that's right sized and you win and grow something, that's the thing that is a win. I've seen too many people that get involved with the monsters. I mean, there's people that have enough money and you think, oh, I'm just going to hook my star wagon to their star and everything's going to be great. Well, I'm here to tell you something. Those people, they don't ever lose. They are rich and they're powerful and they don't lose. So if things go left, the little guy, loses. So you need to make sure that you stay right sized because anything that can make you can very easily break you. So I want you to think about what you're involved in. I had a friend of mine who was a big shot, and I'm not gonna say how he was a big shot because there's people that listen to this show that would know who I'm talking about. But back in '07, he decided that he was going to buy 180 condos in Florida. And he was going to make this big play. And he was already very successful. I mean, super successful and had a good reputation in the community. and he bought 180 condos in Florida on leverage. And he put whatever minimal amount down, financed them all, and was getting them rented, and everything was going well. And look at me, and I got 180 doors and blah, 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 blah. Well, 2008 happened, and there was a big crash, and the bottom fell out of everything. And all the condos that were renting out for $900 a month were renting for $400 a month. And he lost everything. I mean, he lost everything. He lost all the condos. He lost his houses, and he lost the big tour bus that he had. I mean, he lost everything. He lost his reputation of being somebody that was really wise about that kind of stuff. And it was all because of his ego. And if this particular individual that did this would have said, I can't afford 180 condos. I don't have enough money to weather the storm with 180 condos. And if he would have bought 18 condos for cash instead of 180 leveraged, that same thing would have happened. And if you look back in the history books, 2 years later, everything was fine. His 18 condos would have rented for $900 a month, and then they would have went down to $400 a month for 2 years, and probably halfway through year 2, they would have went to 650, 7. And honestly, 18 times 9, is about the same math as 180, times whatever you end up with, $100 a month or $75 a month after you're paying all that leverage and you're doing all the big shotting around with all that kind of stuff. Buy one condo. Buy. All these investors get on here and they're talking about the BRRRR strategy. Buy, renovate, refinance, repeat. Stupid. Save up your money and buy one rental unit. And if you can't afford that, go in with a buddy of yours, go in with 2 buddies of yours. I mean, get to the save up your money to where you can all buy one for cash and then grow that. Because if you get in business with the banker, he's going to win. The bank's going to win. You get a loan and you rent the place out for $1,200 and your note is $900, and the insurance and taxes and maintenance and vacancy costs you $300. You're making $100 a month, and a water tank goes out, and that's $1,400. There goes your profit for the year. The banker's getting their money every month. They're getting $900 every month. So don't deal with bankers, especially if you have to put a suit and tie on to go impress them with your business proposal and whatever. And people come to me all the time with these business ideas. And it's, would you invest in something like this? No. No. You're telling me about how you're going to make $700,000 and make $5. Have you made $5 doing this? Show me where you made $5 doing this. Then show me where you made $5 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month. But if you do a business proposal and you're looking for an investor, and you got this big plan, and part of the investment money is supposed to go to your salary and the salary of the other people that are working there, especially if you're not putting a lot of money in the deal, that can only go back. Because most of those people are going to say, no, you're ridiculous. Get out of my office. And the ones that say yes, they'll get you. They'll take 95% of your dream. They'll let you build it. And then as soon as they can replace you with somebody cheaper that's on their team, you're out. So you want them to say no. But when they say yes, that's worse. So build your own dream and do it. I'd much rather have a hot dog cart than a fancy restaurant that's financed and, you know, not yours. You'll make a lot more money on the hot dog cart. Then you'll make more money on the second hot dog cart. Now, pretty soon you got 6 hot dog carts and you're making a lot more money than the restaurant that's going out of business. And by the way, have you seen the amount of restaurants that go under? It's a lot of them. So anyway, I'm just visiting with you because I'm talking to people in my everyday life that are scared. And yeah, I get it. I get it. We are definitely in a depression. We are definitely in a scary, scary place for a lot of people. People are getting laid off. People are having their jobs replaced by artificial intelligence. People don't understand exactly what's going on. They don't know where their future is. But I'm here to tell you that everything's going to be okay. And I promise you, everything's going to be okay. But it's very important that you keep yourself flying, close to the ground. I mean, be right sized. Live in a small enough place that you can afford what you're doing. And instead of, trying to take all these vacations, if you can't afford it, stay home and play some cards. Have family game night, have a potluck, invite your friends over for a barbecue in the backyard. Don't extend yourself to try and be something to somebody else that you're not. Even if it makes you feel good pulling that lie off, I was poor growing up, and I was poor in college, and there's times that I've lived it up too in my life, but the memories aren't better. I really like having $10 and having $7 of expenses. I've never was richer than when I was in college and I was an RA and I had free room, free board, and I got $65 a month, and I earned my tuition and books and stuff during the summer. But during the school year, I was an RA and I had free room, I had free food, hot and cold running water, no bills, no telephone bill, no, I mean, I was rich and I played spades every night in the lobby with my friends, and we chased girls and we never caught any, but life was good. And I have never been richer than when I made $65 an hour, or $65 a month. I'm sorry, $65 a month. And so don't take everything so seriously. I mean, it's gonna be okay. I promise it's gonna be okay. And right in the middle of everything that's just so terrible, you're gonna find a life and you're gonna enjoy yourself, and keep yourself safe and warm. And just remember, the bigger you make it and the wobblier the stilts are that you make it, the more it's going to crash. But even when it does crash, my dad lost everything when I was in 5th grade. I mean, everything. And we went to go live in a little rented townhome in one car, and it was okay. It was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. If I grew up as a country club kid where we lived, I probably would have turned out to be some kind of a different thing than I am now, because I had to work and I had to build my character, because my dad was an alcoholic and we lost everything, and it was fine. We crashed and burned and everything was fine. So if you crash and burn, go talk to some people that crashed and burned and everything was fine. And I guarantee you're going to find a bunch of people that dropped out of school and didn't make it, did a business and it failed. And the only truism through all of those stories is everything was fine. Especially if you let it be fine. Because if I was homeless and I was living in my car, I would get a job at McDonald's, and I would get a membership at 24-Hour Fitness and take a shower and work at McDonald's, eat free food, sleep in my car, and pretty soon everything would be fine. So don't worry yourself so much. That's my advice. Now, honestly, I don't care what you do, because I'm fine and my family's fine. And so if you choose to be miserable, that's your choice. But I want to tell you, the one person that's listening to this podcast, please realize that's your choice. And if nobody told you that they love you today, I love you. And there's no darn thing you can do about that.